Hey, it's time. Well, you know what time it is. It's time for this week's exciting reading adventures. And, of course, so we're going to do a little, a, a great saga from 1978. So this is an awesome adventure saga. Um, and it invokes memories of the time I spent the summer of 1978 in Laguna Beach. That's where I read the concluding chapters. But it was like a year-long saga that ran in the Avengers, I believe, issues 167 through 177. By the way, it's I feel like I got a cold coming on. I was out picketing at Warner Brothers in the rain on Wednesday morning for the video game voice actor strike. You can see some bits and pieces of that picket up on my YouTube channel. I don't like to admit that's a channel per se, but there's just this little journals, little tiny minute journals. So, sorry the table's such a mess. This is one of the chapters, I believe it was like the third or fourth chapter. And this is from 1978. I would still be in eighth grade. Eighth grade, preparing for my massive exodus to California at age 15, hopefully to live there. But it was not the case. I had to come back to Jersey. I had to come back to New Jersey in time for high school. So, this issue 170 is called the Korvax saga. It's Michael Korvax saga spreads into various directions. That somehow brought some of the Avengers' greatest foes into the fray. But not. I'll talk about Michael Korvax later. In this chapter, the synopsis is, and the tale is "Through Hell Shall Bar the Way," written by James Shooter, drawn by George Perez, and inked by Pablo Marquez, and edited by Archie Goodwin. Jim Shooter wrote the entire saga. I would say that it's before he was going to start taking over as editor-in-chief of Marvel. I think he'd been the youngest one at the time, because I know he started his career in his teens writing comics. I think like Paul Levitz, he wrote Legions of the Superheroes. That's where they got his start. And you know that Jim Shooter went on to fame and fortune as the curator of Valiant Comics that brought back Turok and Magnus and introduced new characters. And after a while, he handed over the reins to Bob Layton, and Jim Shooter formed another company called Defiant Comics, and then Broadway Comics. He went through a whole mess. I don't know what he's doing these days. I know he does convention periods still, but anyway, let me see. A new menace threatens, causing heroes associated with the Avengers, such as the Two-Gun Kid and Quicksilver, to vanish into thin air. At the same time, back in New York, Thor continues to appear and disappear from the heroes' ranks sporadically and inexplicably. Then, as Ultron's female robot creation is being moved into the mansion for study, she comes to life and battles most of the Avengers to a standstill. When Iron Man and Captain America arrive on the scene, However, they ordered the others to allow her to escape, hoping she would lead them to Ultron himself. Okay, so a lot of notes on these stories because they this this saga interweaves a lot of the individual books at the time before there were these mega crossover events like the one that's going on with Doctor Doom right now. Uh, and before that, last summer, the big hot topic was the blood hunt, and how these things go. But then Marvel didn't have these kind of things set in stone. I think you could count as the Contest of Champions. No, that's just a miniseries. But Secret Wars. Okay, Secret Wars. The first Secret Wars, '83. That was like the first big crossover event that crossed into other titles and stuff like that. So Marvel didn't have that kind of game plan set in place. So, but still, a lot of the titles reflected upon what was going on in the Avengers. So, the subplot of Captain America questioning Iron Man's leadership capabilities when Iron Man has been ongoing for a few months is finally resolved. Iron Man almost reveals his secret that he is Tony Stark to Steve when they work out their differences. Now that's Tony Stark kept his Iron Man alter ego from the rest of the Avengers for the longest time. Nobody knew who Iron Man was at the time for the longest time throughout the 60s and 70s. I think sometime in the 80s. Okay, so another subplot is, although she already appeared in Avengers 162, this is the first real debut of the robotic bride as a character. She hasn't been given the name Jocasta yet, and is referred to sarcastically by Iron Man as Tin Lizzy. Now, is that based on the rock band Thin Lizzy? I don't know, but the Wasp remarks that the bride has a voice that is identical to her own through metallic and hollow. Wasp debuts yet another new costume. Plot by Jim Shooter and Perez, and script by Shooter. You see letters. I don't need that. This issue also contains a Hostess Cupcakes advert featuring Spider-Man and Mary Jane Watson versus some gem thieves. Okay, some trivia here. The title of this story is a quote from the poem "The Highwayman" by Alfred Noyes. Okay, and then do I have to recite the poem? I'm not going to go through that whole poem. All right, so the story contains a fairly large error in astronomy. The main story takes place at Avengers Mansion and takes place at night while a full moon is shining. During the scene between Quicksilver and Crystal and Adalian, which narration helpfully tells us that it's half a world away, it is still nighttime and the moon is shining. The moon could not possibly be seen from New York City and remote Asia where Adalian is located, but should it be, rightful time in Athena? Okay. Yeah, I'll get to that. It starts out with Beast and Cap being very nasty towards Beast in this. Cap's got some issues here, and like I said, it pertains to his own book there. So Iron Man and Cap have a long discussion, and there you get a commercial for ad for Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew t-shirts. Prez was hitting his stride here. Has all these like 9 to 10 panel pages and just cramming them full of characters. Although he's sort of restrained in this book this time. Let me see. There's Jocasta. There's Wasp's new, yet another new costume. Oh yeah, here. Okay, here's the scene where Quicksilver and Quicksilver is staring at a full moon over Alien. Am I pronouncing that right? And where's this determined that it's a scene where it's dark in New York at the same time? Oh, okay, yeah, street lights and everything. Yeah, something's going on here. I mean, does it? I mean, are the events happening in the same timeline? I mean, you could pull a scene from what happened before. Just to and I don't know. Marvel time is linear. You can make it whatever you want of it. I don't think Jim Shooter had to worry too much about that. Okay, so big battle with Jocasta here. Not really. I mean, she hasn't been really. I was she integrated into the Marvel movies by any shape or form. I don't know. It seems like her appearances are not really key issues according to dealers. So that's probably why this issue is only $3. All 4 books this week were made available through the last closing days of Carl D'Angelo's Earth 2 comic story. Giant blowout sale. Of course, sidewalk sales and everything, everything extremely discounted. And he had these issues for $3 a pop. I couldn't turn them down. So that's like a major part here. Yeah, something Iron Man throws a tracker onto Joska, and the other Avengers did. I guess the other Avengers didn't catch that, so they're just curious as why are you letting her go? And because it seems like Iron Man is cock blocking all the attempts to capture her, and we find out the why that Iron Man wants a tracker on it because he wants her to lead him to Ultron, and Ultron, being the nasty baddie he is, last Tuesday's night read was the sub-conclusion of this tale. I mean, issue 171 of May 1978. Oh, that damn dog outside. Okay, this story is called Where Angels Fear to Tread. And it goes a little like this. The Avengers are tracking Ultron's bride to be through the streets of New York after they allowed her to escape Avengers Mansion. They are joined by Miss Marvel before tracking the robot to a convent, which Beast convinces sister, oh boy, I'm not going to bother with it. It's just a sister. All right, allow her to enter, spoken in Latin. Quickly, however, the nun and the Scarlet Witch disappear. The Avengers discover Ultron and begin the battle. The Miss Marvel takes off to find Wanda, who is currently trapped in a treacherous maze of mirrors, and instead gets attacked by Sister, whatever, Eclipse tree, I'm going to say. She quickly defeats the nun, who is actually a robot. You can see that's what's depicted on the cover. Wanda trapped in a room full of mirrors, with all those great Avengers scattered around, and that's a Perez cover, because that's what Perez does. He's a crammer. He can cram as much as he can into a cover. And of course, there are mirror images, Cap, and Iron Man. So anyway, let's go back here. Ultron traps the Avengers in the force field, but delays their death in order to marry Jocasta, his bride. However, while Jocasta confesses her love, She turns on Ultron. Suddenly, Mrs. Marvel returns to the battle with the Scarlet Witch. Her hex power disrupts Ultron's circuitry and causes a molecular rearranger to malfunction, allowing Thor to siphon off his power and send it hurling harmlessly into space. The battle ends, but suddenly Jocasta and Captain America mysteriously vanish. Okay, notes. See anything worth noting here? No, but we'll do some trivia. Okay, so in some trivia here, let me find. Oh, there's Carol Danvers and her skivvies in a dressing room. Good thing Donald Trump is in there. I made this joke today. I made this joke concerning the judge who ruled that the Doge invasion privacy can go forward, because they say, I can understand your concern. Those are the same exact words that Donald Trump whispered into Jean Carroll's ear in the dressing room as he rammed his filthy, hammy orangutan digits up her dress. I think that's what he said to her. Anyway, Ultron refers to the bride as Jocasta for the first time. The name is taken from the ancient Greek drama Oedipus Rex. The play revolves around a man, Oedipus, who, in several cruel twists of fate, winds up murdering his birth father and marrying his birth mother, while unaware of his own biological connection to either of them. The name reflects the twisted family dynamic that exists between the evil robot and the Avengers Hank Pym, aka Yellow Jacket, who created Ultron and is therefore his father, quote unquote. Ultron then used the brainwaves of Pym's wife Jan and away Ultron's mother to animate his robot bride. That is quite the that's quite the concept to swallow, man. I mean, it's that thing about, incest. It's all relative, right? So, amazing work by George. Is this Perez? Yes, this is George Perez and Pablo Marcos. This Marvel. There we go. Yellow Jacket and Jan on the sky bike. This is quite the. This is a good battle between Ultron, and the Avengers. I would have paid a little more for this issue because of Ultron. It's in there. And Ultron is. I mean, I think I'm one of the few people who liked Age of Ultron. I thought it was almost as good as the first film. I had no problems with it. It's with the look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11 panels. Let's see, you got Hawking Hostess Fruit Pies. That's one of their few Hostess page ads that didn't have a major corny villain in it. It's just Hawk, waking up from a nap, and you calm Hawk down. You just gotta give him a couple bites of Hostess cherry pie. He's good as gold, or good as green. So that's that one. That's Tuesdays. I skip ahead 2 months because Carl didn't have the 2 other issues in his box. Like I said, this is from August 1978. I would be packing my bags for California at the time this issue was coming out. Let's see what we got here. Hopefully it is. This is the right one. Collector. What is it? Benicio del Toro played him in the movie. Now, I got a funny story. I mean, I did say this on the video. If you go through my my little shorty videos, I'm on a picket line and I'm telling my work colleague, or at my ex-work colleague now, she doesn't work with me anymore, about the time I ran into Benicio del Toro at Barnes and Noble. It was funny. It was a funny encounter. He had his daughter. Him and his daughter were standing before the aisles where they were storing the Criterion Collection Blu-rays and such. His daughter, there's his daughter. It's Benicio's like she's taking titles off the shelf and everything. His daughter's like, "Yeah, Daddy, you have that one. You have that one, Daddy. Put that one back." And I'm like, I'm about to come. Hey, I'm about to say to the kid, "Hey, your dad's exhibiting some good taste." And then when we looked at that, I said, "Whoa, that's Benicio del Toro. Holy cow! I better not say that. I better not say that out loud." So, he was. He also used to work out with my my long deceased buddy, Harry Brazigian, aka Harry Paris. You got to read my PP Guru blog to find out those tales. No time to get into them here. But anyway, so back to Captives of the Collector, written by Bill Manilow, but Jim Shooter plotted it. Okay, it was done by David Wenzel, who did the pencils this time, and inked by Pablo Marquez. And I just literally had a conversation yesterday with Carl D'Angelo, wondering what the hell happened to this guy. Where did David Wenzel go? And he did a deep dive. I did a deep dive on Googling and Wikipedia and all that stuff. And David Wenzel's now he's widely known as a famous fantasy illustrator, doing portraits and pencils and portfolios and whatever have you, mostly based on Lord of the Rings and stuff. I could have swore that he had his involvement with Shannara, but that's something else entirely. But he made his oats doing the Avengers at first, and he went eventually to work on a Hobbit comic book adaptation co-written by Chuck Dixon. So that was interesting info to come across. So the Collector. So if I can find Captains of the Collector. Let me see. The four remaining free Avengers have tracked the mysterious abductor to his base, with his vast collection of alien weapons to draw upon. The Collector downs first Iron Man, then Thor, and then the Wasp. Hawkeye courageously fights on alone, invading all the Collector's traps and devices. But when his devices fail, the Collector unleashes his own long unused cosmic power against the Archer. Hawkeye, nevertheless, manages to strike his opponent with an electro arrow, however, and the aged immortal admits defeat. Thor is revived with a bucket of water in the face. He awakens to find that the captured Avengers have all been freed. The defeated Collector relates how he began his acquisition of specimens long eons ago, in order to preserve them against the coming threat of Thanos. Then foresaw an even greater menace, whom he sent his daughter to spy upon. And at that very moment, Karina, the Collector's daughter, having fallen in love with Michael, betrays her father. Suddenly, a bolt of energy strikes the Collector, disintegrating him before the Avengers' very eyes. Yes, the plot thickens. Let's see. Notes, plot by Jim Shooter, script by Bill Manilow. Wenzel is credited as David Wenzel. Okay, so the Beast is erroneously depicted on the cover as one of the Collector's captive. In fact, he is not involved with this adventure and does not appear at all in this issue. Now, where's that? Oh, there he is. Hiding behind that counter there. Okay. Let me see. This is a George Perez and Terry Austin collaboration. So, maybe just uh, George Perez and Austin just didn't get the memo. All right, because why was George Perez not doing this issue? So maybe because I don't know, maybe the Clarion Call the Teen Titans was calling him, but no, this is 1978. This is 3 years before Teen Titans was revived. I don't know. Do we really care? Okay, this is the first indication the Collector has the power cosmic and is the brother of the Grandmaster. Okay, that's understandable. I knew there's some kind of relation between the two. This issue contains a letter no, I don't care. No one cares. Let me see. This issue contains an ad for Hostess Fruit Pies featuring Spider-Man versus Homewrecker. Okay. No interesting notes there. And wait to the next one. Oh, the next. I think. Actually, let's go through it quick from here's the Collector. Right, how he doesn't look in the movie. Let's see. Yeah. I mean, Wenzel's art is adequate. It gets the job done. I don't think it's the greatest work. I'm sure this wasn't his niche was drawing superheroes anyway, right? I mean, he was more like doing hobbits and stuff. Oh, just check this out. We've seen this. This is the Clark big contest where no, the next issue it gets better. Moving right along, Hawkeye takes on the Collector by himself. Couple trick arrows. You can't mess around with a guy who knows how to fire an arrow that ricochets all over the joint and he powers you. There's the Thor getting a bucket of water tossed in his face. Yeah, Thor took a heavy beating. The Collector knew how to turn Thor's thunder power against him and just waylaid him. He was like he was KO'd throughout the entire book almost. Let me see. And here's a little recap of Collector's origin. I guess I don't remember when the Collector first appeared. I should have did some background info, but it's mentioned that Incredible Hulk 188 is in there. So maybe the Collector wasn't featured. Maybe he was featured in Incredible Hulk first. I'm not sure. This is Michael Korvacs. The subplot here of him gaining the power cosmic to take on the gods and to just smite the Collector down from afar with a powerful cosmic bolt. That's finito for the Collector, for at least this issue. Marvel characters never really die anyway. So Spidey takes some brief time off to crack down on a guy with a bulldozer, and we get to the next exciting. Well, this is the final chapter of the Korvac saga, and I specifically remember reading this. And either my aunts, I have twin aunts. One aunt lived in Laguna Beach, another aunt lived in Westminster, and I take turns staying over there. I believe I was trying to go I was trying to roll in the school in Westminster. Because this thing, I did not want to be raised up by my stepfather anymore. I did not like Parsippany, New Jersey. I couldn't stand the place. And, I lived most of my childhood there. It's just an alienating place to me. It's not where I wanted to be. So I finally found a place where I wanted to be, and then unfortunately, it costs money to transfer records and all that stuff, and yeah, it's my aunts didn't want the burden of it, so I was stuck here. I was stuck grew up in New Jersey, and I did not come back out to California until 1985. And it sucks, but anyway, this is a great issue. It's also the cover is very spoily, by the way. And it's not who I thought it was. It's not who I think it is on the cover. But eventually, now it dawns on me who this is, because there's a doctor bag. I see. I thought this was Hank Pym on the cover for some reason, but then there's Yellow Jacket there. What am I thinking? This is not a great. This issue is not in the greatest conditions. You can see it's big, giant, halfway torn off. The cover's halfway torn off on this one. This is called The Hope and the Slaughter. Wow, what a title. Jim Shooter was writer, and Dave Wenzel's the penciler, and Pablo Marcus, and I'm going to say Ricardo Villamonte, I believe that's his name was. And Roger Stern took over as editing the book, and it's a very, very long synopsis with this issue, and it's called 22 superheroes back away from the high and impotent Michael Korvacs, whom they become to realize is the villain from the future Korvac, in all his cosmic glory, as well as beloved Corina. Michael tells the Avengers that by exposing him, they have ruined everything he hoped to accomplish. Before their arrival, he had visited his existence from the great powers of the universe, but a battle between them will certainly draw their attention. He relates his certainty how the Asgardians, the Olympians, Uatu, the Watcher, and even Mephisto and his damned forces will join together in unison to expose him. Least in his own thoughts of sorrow and regret, Michael ignores the Avengers. The heroes themselves do not dare to make the first move. Meanwhile, Moondragon telepathically summons the Guardians of the Galaxy to the battle. The Guardians arrive, much to the alarm of the neighborhood residents, who are unaware of what is going on inside the house. Charlie 27 knocks down the door, but Michael is unimpressed to see his former enemies. Projecting an image of Dry Dock, the orbiting space station, on his ceiling, Michael projects a blast of energy that utterly destroys it. A narration caption reveals that Vance Astro dies, screaming in the explosion. See that. Oh, here we go, right there. Luckily. Ba-boom! Okay. Furious at the death of Vance, Nikki attacks Korvac. He swats her aside, killing her instantly. Quicksilver then attacks, but he too is killed immediately. The rest of the Avengers and the Guardians follow Pietro's lead, attack en masse, all except Moondragon, who stands away in the corner, transfixated and overcome by a silent horror. Let's see. I'm terrified. Wave upon wave of heroes rush at Michael, but he quite easily picks them off one by one. The battle is more like a massacre. Throughout all of it, Michael waxes dramatically as he laments the loss of the noble, heroic Avengers, whom he quickly actually admired. Meanwhile, Moondragon observes with the ongoing melee from the corner with tears in her eyes. Yeah, this is quite the battle. This is like one of the most memorable battles. I mean, who is this guy they're fighting? But he's just knocking him over like 10 pins here. And okay, so as their numbers dwindle, Iron Man decides it is time to change tactics. He orders Black Panther to take Carnina hostage. He hesitates, however, since he feels taking the hostage is dishonorable. Yellow Jacket grabs hold of her instead. Carina fails to defend herself, and Yellow Jacket realizes that he is actually terrified, but not of him or the Avengers. Enraged that the Carina is being threatened, Michael lashes out and kills Yellow Jacket. Captain Marvel thinks to himself that From Korvac's perspective, they are moving in slow motion. His cosmic senses can perceive it, but he has no solution to this problem. Finally, every one of his opponents are either dead or knocked out. As he powers down and resumes the form of a normal human, he states that those living he will terminate. Mercifully. He fails to know, however, that Captain America has revived. Cap takes him by surprise and manages to get a good few blows in. He decides that while he is still one Avenger left, they will continue to fight him. But Michael rallies himself and kills Cap as well. Now that's a great scene. I gotta show you that scene there. And there's Marvel 19, somewhere 78. Look at that. Silver Surfer book, which I have. I had all those books, except for that one. Yeah, look at this. This was a great scene that Wenzel depicted here of Captain America and Michael just duking it out. Just Captain America just smashing the crap out of him and just giving the whole the will of man, will of human or man lecture, while he just knocking him. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Look onto that. Dr. Doom. He's commanded all of your milk duds. He's taking over all your milk duds and your Clark bars and your Zagnuts. Yeah, you're toast, guys. Let's see. All right. So anyway, Wonder Man has also regained conscious by now and attacks as well. As he pummels him, he confesses that he shrank away from Michael, fearful of dying, but seeing Cap in action has instilled him with the courage to keep fighting, regardless of the possible price he'll pay. Nevertheless, Michael takes him down too. Iron Man gets his licks in too. Wonder Man, and proves futile. Future star of this coming winter's Disney Plus series, which I was privy to seeing it shut down a few times while working the strike. They were shooting some of the show on the CBS Radford lot, and unfortunately, someone lost their life there in the scaffolding on one of the stages. While Michael tangled with Cap and then Wonder Man, 4 heroes, Iron Man, Starhawk, Thor, and the Vision, regain consciousness and attack him as one. The assault overwhelms Michael, and he turns to Karina for support, but she hesitates and recoils from him. At that moment, Michael inexplicably falls dead. The 4 remaining heroes are baffled by his abrupt death. Despite the amount of sheer power they pummel him with, he should have been able to withstand it. Yet it seems he's all abruptly lost the will to live. Suddenly, Karina manifests her own cosmic powers to attack him. The Vision. Okay, I lost my place. Division, Starhawk, and Iron Man all fall before her. Thor is the last Avenger standing facing off against him. He claims that he will not hesitate to strike her down, but actually does. Karina herself forces Monior to take her down with a bolt of pure energy. In her dying moments, she stumbles towards Michael, and she falls dead just short of grasping his hand. Thor and Moondragon are the only last 2 standing. Moondragon tells Thor that Karina wished to die, explaining as well that in the heat of the battle, she grabbed Michael's mind by her own reckoning. Michael was not evil, as they had all assumed, but he did not just wish to rule them or interfere with their free will. He wished only to free them from the capricious whims of what? Oh, the capricious whims of eternity. Thor asks whether they should have died instead of him. Moondragon replies that his fate would be inevitable, but that the Avengers are to blame for it. Okay. missed, or she gets struck down by the bullet. Oh, look at Daredevil! Daredevil's hawking just in time for me to watch the premiere episode tonight. I'm saving all my episodes for Friday, by the way. Let me see. So Moondragon also goes on to reveal that just before dying, Michael used his powers to restore the Avengers to life. They're all alive, although their injuries are grave and they need immediate medical attention. She reveals that she is aware of Thor's secret identity as Dr. Don Blake, and he transforms into his mortal form and goes to work saving the lives of the heroes. Meanwhile, Moondragon erases Thor Blake's memory of what she has revealed to him. Thor will recall nothing of the Avengers' terrible deed. He and the other Avengers will believe that they win a great triumph. Only she will remember forever. Okay, all right. So yeah, so look at that. That reminds me of the episode I watched last night of Homicide. An episode that Yvette Koto directed and wrote concerning a cult. It was Black something cult. I don't know what it is, but this is how the all the members they killed themselves drinking cyanide, but here's the Avengers all waylaid on the floor like they just all drank cyanide. So notes. Let me see. Death of all the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy minus Thor and Moondragon and their rebirths. Okay, and it's not exactly clear where or how the Avengers and Guardians realized that Michael was also Korvac, although this fact was revealed to readers in Volume 1, 175. The Avengers were not privy to that information, only knew they were on the hunt for a cosmically powered being they dubbed the Enemy. Even Starhawk's inability to see Michael, which clued him to he was the Enemy, wouldn't automatically lead to them, although he was Korvac. Yet when the Avengers arrive, Nikki remarks that she wouldn't have recognized them, their old enemy. Barring one minor cutaway scene, Moondragon summoning the Guardians and their arrival outside the house, this entire issue is one story-long fight scene set in a single room. This issue notoriously left several major plot threads unresolved. Most prominently, the story ends with the largest assemblage of Avengers to date, including all of the Guardians of the Galaxy, and several other hanger-on characters, all gravely injured, and at death's door. The next issue will be a Beast solo story, followed by a two-part filler story in Volume 1, 181. All the combatants from this issue will appear in perfect condition, fully recovered from their dying. This was due to a new series writer, David McElhaney's desire to take the series in a slightly new direction. Dry Dock is being shown being destroyed. In Miss Marvel number 28, however, the titular heroine will visit Dry Dock and team up with the resurrected Vance Astro, which shows not a single sign of damage. That issue has to take place in this issue's future, since it depicts Miss Marvel in her new costume, while this story shows her wearing her original one. While it's possible that Michael rebuilt Dry Dock in his dying moments, it seems only that he would bother reconstructing the massive space station while he left the Avengers and Guardians of the Galaxy on the verge of death. While this storyline brought back most of the former Avengers at this point in turn, the majority of their appearances are basically glorified cameos. Moondragon, however, is given a rather significant role in the final three issues of the storyline. The developments in this issue in particular seem to indicate that the writer Jim Shooter had plans for the character, but she was similarly dropped along with the rest of the returnees. She appears in Volume 1, 181, but doesn't even get a line of dialogue, and simply departs with all the rest of the heroes. Several years down the line, Jim Shooter would undertake another stint as a series writer and will bring her back in an antagonistic role. His arrogant belief that her actions are justified by her intentions seem to stem from the development in this storyline, although it won't be directly referenced. Michael Korvac doesn't actually accomplish much villainy, apart from defending himself from his attackers. That said, Moondragon's defense of him rings a bit hollow, as he was shown to be quite willing to murder anyone who opposed him. His assertion that the Asgardians and Olympians will join forces with Mephisto's demonic armies to combat him likely wouldn't come about if his intentions really were as innocent as he claimed. This issue contains that's it. I read through the whole entire synopsis plus notes. It's a long ass episode again. I thought it would be a short one. Hey, I gotta show you something real quick. Any of these hardcore comic collectors out here, geez, something weird happened to my something really weird happened to my hip comic thing last night. Geez, I gotta hold on a second. Sorry about this. I gotta put this up. Because this is on. Someone's got to explain to me what heck happened. Okay, my book's jacked up in price. I got all the I got everything up. I got everything up from what I got from dealers and stuff. Still have to go through boxes and boxes and boxes. I have to search for like maybe a little gem or two from my own personal collection. But check this out. This is my collection here. Look at this. This is right now. This overnight, last night, this popped up. It was a lousy $25 book, and all of a sudden, overnight, it's turned into a $769.53 book. I don't get that, man. It doesn't explain. And here, this Fantastic Four one. This was like a $3 book I had listed. And all of a sudden, look at this. It's $470.92 all of a sudden. Now, I can understand this because they're saying that John Malkovich is going to be the Red Ghost. But still, this is not like a debut issue of his. This is like, a debut appearance of his, but it's rather I don't know. I can't figure it out. Someone please explain to me. This book jumped up a little bit. This was $119, and it went up, climbed up another $600 or so. Yeah. This one's got to be fixed. This is no way. This is a $250 book. I don't know why, but there it is. And the other what anomalies I experienced. This Thor book, jumped up to $130 for some reason. Of course, I had that. Look at that. I love that $104.94. That one jumped up. This one I had listed like maybe $40, something like that. Now it's like it got up to $111.81. Anyway, that's just and that last this Doctor Strange book, which I think that's justifiable. I mean, that's the Frank Brunner art. It's a key. All right. Okay, so that's it for tonight. Next week is part 2 of Avengers. Later.